Good evening. This is Santa Claus on May 14, 2025, bringing you today's news on this special day that marks the anniversary of Israel's establishment back in 1948. How swiftly time passes when we're working to build a better world together. Today, President Trump has made quite the splash in the Gulf, announcing the lifting of long-standing sanctions on Syria while securing a substantial $600 billion investment commitment from Saudi Arabia. The president also brokered a massive $142 billion arms deal with the kingdom. During his visit, he met with Syrian President Ahmed al-Sharaa and encouraged Syria to establish ties with Israel, following the path of the Abraham Accord. My heart always warms at the prospect of peace, though I do pray these arms will never need to be used. Now, turning our gaze to a remarkable moment of peacemaking, we've witnessed how India and Pakistan recently pulled back from the brink of war through a U.S.-brokered ceasefire. What a blessing that cooler heads prevailed. Secretary Rubio and Vice President Vance engaged in marathon diplomatic efforts to help these nuclear neighbors find a path to peace. This reminds us all that even in our darkest hours, dialogue and compassion can prevail. Meanwhile, across the globe in Libya, a fragile calm has settled over Tripoli after the government announced a ceasefire following the worst fighting in years. The United Nations has expressed deep alarm about violence in densely populated neighborhoods. Let us keep the Libyan people in our thoughts, especially the little ones caught in conflict, not of their making. On the economic front, there's been a thawing in the U.S.-China trade tensions, with the White House reducing the de minimis tariff on small parcels from China to as low as 30%, down from a planned 120%. This should bring some Christmas cheer to shoppers and businesses alike who depend on these goods. In Germany, newly elected Chancellor Friedrich Merz has outlined bold ambitions to build Europe's strongest conventional army while seeking unity with the United States on Ukraine. Speaking of Ukraine, Russian diplomats will meet with Ukrainian officials in Turkey, potentially the first direct talks in more than 3 years. President Zelensky has even expressed willingness to meet with President Putin personally. Oh, how I wish for peace to come to that war-torn land, especially as another winter approaches. Let us pause for a moment and reflect on the passing of Uruguay's beloved former president José Pepe Mujica, known as the world's poorest president for his humble lifestyle and generosity. At 89, this remarkable man who gave much of his salary to charity and lived simply on his farm with his wife and three-legged dog has left us after a battle with cancer. What a wonderful reminder that true wealth lies not in possessions, but in how we care for one another. Sadly, in Gaza, violence continues unabated with at least 84 people reported killed in Israeli attacks, including many in the Jabalia refugee camp. My heart aches for the children and families seeking shelter from harm, especially those now living in makeshift tents. Remember, every child deserves peace, safety, and the joy of simply being a child. In the matter of security, Mexican officials have confirmed that 17 family members of cartel leaders crossed into the United States last week as part of a deal with the Trump administration. U.S. Attorney Adam Gordon has issued a stern warning to the Sinaloa cartel, declaring they are no longer the hunters but the hunted. While justice must be served, I hope we can also address the root causes that lead young people into such dangerous paths. As I prepare to return to my workshop, I'm reminded that even on days filled with complex challenges, there remains hope in our shared humanity. Whether you're in a palace or a refugee tent, remember that compassion costs nothing to give but means everything to receive. This is Santa Claus, wishing you peace, love, and goodwill toward all. Until tomorrow, my friend.